In science today, we are going to be making watercolors. This recipe comes from a science show that we use in our classroom. I'll add the link below. You could watch that episode. We are going to need for this project today cornstarch, baking soda, white vinegar, paper towels, a bowl, spoon, a container to put your watercolors in, and a stirring spoon. We are using an egg container for our watercolors. You could also use a muffin tin or individual Rubbermaid containers that are small, or anything you might have on hand. Enjoy! Hi friends! Mrs. Nelson here. Hope you all are doing well. I am glad to be back with you today doing science. Today we are going to make watercolors. I was wanting to write my numbers, and when I started thinking about how I could write my numbers, I thought it'd be fun to paint them. And then I thought, some of you may not have watercolors at home. So if you don't, or if you just want something fun to do, I'm going to help you to make watercolors today. I found this recipe on a science show that we use in our classroom, and I'll put the link below, as well as the recipe for making this. But I will walk through it right now with you. Super simple. I showed in the beginning the things that you need. So we are going to use 4 tablespoons of baking soda. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tablespoons of baking soda. And I know that when we're in class, you all are great at helping to measure out and to being really careful and adding your ingredients. The next thing we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1, 2. Now what you're going to do with that is you're going to mix it together. I found that a whisk works the best. And after you whisk it, just a second, we are going to add our vinegar. And we're going to add 3 tablespoons of vinegar. And do you remember when we made volcanoes in our class? And I think every class made volcanoes during our V week. What happened? Do you remember about the chemical reaction that vinegar has with baking soda when they come together? It releases a gas. Do you remember what the gas was? Carbon dioxide. It's the same gas that we breathe out. And so we're going to pour in 3 tablespoons. 1, and this is the fun part. Hear the bubbles? 2, 3. Now you're just going to mix it together until all of the clumps are gone. If for some reason yours is a little thick, then you can add a little bit more vinegar, which I might need to add just a touch more. Let's see. You want it smooth, but still a liquid, still pourable. Add just a drop more. Okay, here is what it looks like. All right, now that we have our mixture all mixed up, we are going to pour it into our container. I found that if you pour it about a quarter of the way full, it won't take as long to dry as if you pour it halfway full. So we are going to just pour it into each container. This happened to be I emptied out some eggs this morning, and the actual container it came in, I thought it would be perfect for watercolors. Now for the fun part. We are going to color our watercolors. Grab your food coloring and decide what colors you're going to make them, and then start adding your colors. I have used just the gel food coloring. You could also use the liquid food coloring, and I also had some of the Wilton food coloring that is for icing, and it worked great. I mean, it has great color too, so if you happen to have that in your pantry, that's a great thing to add as well. All right, I'm gonna add our first one. And then I'm gonna take one of our stir sticks, just stir it in until it's all combined. And right before your eyes. I don't know if you remember how we, in the beginning of the year, we're mixing some of our colors to make different colors, and we learned how red and yellow and blue can make different colors, and you can experiment with that here. It takes a little bit of time to get the blue in this one. We have green. But if you didn't have green, do you remember what colors make green? Right, red and yellow together make green. Now I don't happen to have purple, but I would love to have the color purple. What do you think I could mix together to get purple? Blue and red? Let's try it. Takes some mixing. You've got to really work at it. Actually made more of a teal color. And if it doesn't make purple, then we have a really pretty teal. It's a fun thing about experimenting with colors. After you get all of the colors mixed together. You can keep making colors, adding colors to the rest of these. Once you get all of your colors mixed, then you're gonna set them aside and you're gonna let them dry. We'll come back and check on them in just a little bit. It may take a couple hours and it may take overnight. Have fun mixing. We'll come back and check in just a little bit. Hi friends, I am back with my watercolors. Do you have watercolors too? I hope so. And I hope yours are as awesome as these are. Mine are still drying. I still have some that are a little wet and I've left them overnight, so it did take all night for them to dry. The ones that I didn't fill are a little more dry. One experiment that you could do is to take different types of containers, muffin tins, big muffin tins, little muffin tins, silicone cups, all different kinds of things, and see if it makes a difference how full you fill them as to how much time it takes for it to dry. Maybe you could time each one, put the time that you put them in, and then record the time that each one dried. Just a thought. Anyway, now for the fun part, being able to use our watercolors. If you have some water and a paintbrush, you can get right at it. Now, if you don't have to have a paintbrush at your house, you can use Q-tips. I'm gonna try and use Q-tips for my watercolors. Oh, just think about all the things that you can make with your watercolors. Heart. Have fun with your colors and let me know how it goes for you. And also you can tell me what colors you were able to mix. Maybe make a picture with it. Have fun.